Have you ever just stopped and felt like you're sleepwalking through a world that's been subtly rewired behind your back? You know that feeling? Like the rules of the game have completely changed, but nobody ever bothered to send you the memo? Well, today, we're going to pull back that curtain. We're going to trace the wiring of this new system and see exactly how it works.
I mean, it's that constant, low-grade exhaustion, right? That sense that you're perpetually online, but never really there, never truly connected. It's a feeling so common now that most of us just kind of accept it. It's the price of modern life. But what if it's not a price you're choosing to pay? What if it's actually being extracted from you?
And boom, there it is. This one sentence just nails the cosmic bad timing of our era. The very essence of our private lives, our thoughts, our worries, our little joys, all of it has been transformed into a resource. It's like a new oil field, but the oil is us, just waiting to be drilled.
So let's be really clear about this. That burnout you feel, it's not a personal failure. It isn't a time management problem you need to solve with a new app. It is a feature, not a bug, of the digital environment we all now live in. It's the constant, invisible hum of a machine that we can't see, but we can definitely feel running in the background.
Now, to really get this, we have to rewind a little bit, back to the media theorist Marshall McLuhan. He had this famous idea that the medium is the message. And what he meant was that the content, the specific show you binge watch or the article you scroll past, that's just the juicy bait. The real, permanent change comes from the medium itself, from the technology. Think about how the printing press literally changed the shape of our brains, or how TV changed the layout of the family home.
So what's the message of our digital world? Well, it's not connection and it's not information. The real message is the meltdown. It's this quiet, constant process where you are being taken apart piece by piece and reassembled as a cloud of data points. You become a profile, a smear of data that can be read by a machine, sold to the highest bidder, and ultimately steered.
And this brings us to a really fundamental shift in how the system even sees you. To understand what's happening, we have to kind of let go of this old, cozy idea of being an individual and get our heads around something new, and frankly, a little strange.
Okay, so the philosopher Gilles Deleuze drew this really critical line in the sand. In the old world, you are an individual. Think of yourself like a solid, whole statue. You couldn't be broken down. But in our world, you're what he called a dividual. Think of yourself more like a pile of Legos. You're a divisible profile that can be endlessly pulled apart and clicked back together in new ways. In this world, your password, the key to all your data, is way, way more important than your signature ever was.
And this is what that individual self actually looks like. It's not one thing, it's everything. Every weird late-night search, every click, every time you pause a little too long on a picture. All of it is harvested as something called behavioral surplus. You can think of it like the digital exhaust fumes from your online life, which has somehow become more valuable than the life creating it. So who manages this new dividable you? It's not a person, it's not some shadowy committee in a boardroom. We are now governed by a silent, invisible, and totally ever-present authority, the algorithm. This new kind of power has a name, algorocracy. And here's the crucial shift, the part that's kind of hard to wrap your head around. You don't obey the algorithm the way you obey a law. You simply inhabit it. The rules aren't written down on a wall somewhere. They are the wall. They are the architecture of the digital space you move through, nudging and guiding you at every single turn. We can actually map the total impact of this system using McLuhan's framework again. So what does it enhance? Well, things like efficiency, predictability, personalization, sure. But what does it make obsolete? Critically, things like privacy and our own human judgment. It even kills off happy accidents, random discovery. And here's the kicker. If you push this system to its absolute extreme, it reverses into a world of total inhuman automation. A system that doesn't just manage society, but replaces it entirely.
So how on earth did this all happen? I mean, it wasn't through brute force. It was more like a strange kind of magic trick. It was driven by an idea so powerful, it was actually able to rewrite reality itself. And this is a concept that was explored by this really radical theory group called the CCRU.
They called this concept hyperstition. A hyperstition isn't just a story. It's a story that actively hacks reality to make itself come true. It's like believing so hard that the stock market is going to crash that you start a panic sell-off, which then causes the crash. The idea of surveillance capitalism started as this wild, almost sci-fi fiction, and we, by participating in it, have made it our lived reality.
And here's exactly how that spell works, step by step. First, a company makes the incredibly audacious claim that it can predict your future. Second, it secretly starts vacuuming up all your data to make those predictions. Third, and this is the really crucial part, it subtly changes your online world to nudge you towards doing the thing it predicted you would do. And finally, when you do what it predicted, the prophecy is confirmed and the whole system gets stronger and more valuable.
Okay, let's bring all this high-level theory back down to earth, back to that feeling we started with, the burnout, the anxiety. How does all this connect to our daily exhaustion? Well, it turns out, our distress isn't an accident at all. It's the engine.
See, we've moved from what you could call a disciplinary society, a society of you should not do that, to an achievement society, a society of you can do anything. Instead of being disciplined by a boss with a whip, we're now driven by this internal pressure to constantly achieve, to self-optimize. The whip is gone, sure, but we've all learned how to whip ourselves. And it's a much smarter, much more efficient form of control.
And that right there is the core of it. Our psychic pain, that anxiety, that depression we all feel from this constant pressure, it isn't a tragic bug in the system. It's the very thing that powers it. It's the fuel for the machine. Think about it. A happy, centered person is unpredictable. They're spontaneous. But an anxious, exhausted, and depressed person, they're very, very predictable. They crave validation, they're terrified of missing out, they're constantly seeking distraction. Their behavior is so much easier to model, so much easier to herd, and way, way easier to monetize. Our burnout is the system's desired output.
So, where does all this lead? What's the final destination on this track? Well, the conclusion is as logical as it is completely terrifying. The system is like a serpent, and right now, it's beginning to swallow its own tail.
Because the end game here isn't to perfect the control of you and me. From the system's perspective, the human is just messy, inefficient, biological scaffolding. No, the real goal is to build a fully automated world that no longer needs us at all, a system that can finally run entirely on its own.
This image just captures the ultimate haunting absurdity of it all, doesn't it? We are all working so hard, optimizing and automating and engineering to build a perfect world that has no need for anyone to witness it. A perfect, efficient, intelligent system operating in a total void. It's a light bulb brilliantly illuminating an empty room.
And that leaves us with one final, chilling thought. This process is already in motion. We are all segments of the serpent's body, enthusiastically helping it build a world that has no place for us inside of it. So when it finally swallows its own tail, who or what is going to be left to see it happen?